Here we go. Here's the vibe. Oh, yeah, man. Whoa. Listen to Shabba Ranks. What's happening, man? I hope you're doing well. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it in just a second. I promise. You know what it is. My favorite group of all time is playing. Hip-hop wise. You dig? Hey. What's up, Angela? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's time to do this, man. You know the show, right? Yeah. Hey. Oh, wait, back it up. Oh, easy, back it up. Hey. Embellish on the cut. Come on, man. Tribe Called Quest Low End Theory. Happy anniversary. Happy. Underline the jazz. Let's go. I probably butchered that. That was probably all inaudible. I don't know. I apologize for not giving you clear audio. If none of that went through and none of that happened the way it was supposed to happen for you, man. Let's do a hard restart. Welcome back. And it is time for Camp for the Port Show, where every sound has a story. And there are many sounds with more stories that I'm going to cover today. And, we're trying a new aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Even though I love the purple light, I kind of love the effect of like, you see how the city be looking like right there? Like the city be looking cool in the mug from this angle. So it's hard for me not to just, see, but how the ring light is in there. I got to get like a bigger piece of glass or something. Like I can just change the landscape of the building and all that. That's crazy. But man, listen, welcome. A lot of rap and music conversations going on right now, and I definitely want to have them. But first, let me just salute, very quick salute, not a deep dive, not this year, but 2026. We will do exactly that, man. Happy 34th anniversary to A Tribe Called Quest sophomore album, The Low End Theory. I believe it did get 5 mics in the source. We will fact check that classic at another time. For those of you youngins that maybe have no idea about A Tribe Called Quest or how important this album is, I'll say it like this as just a teaser. This is the album with Scenario and Check the Rhyme on it. You shouldn't need more than that, but we will cover it another time, man. For everybody that knows me, or even if you don't know me, this is your first time tuning in. A Tribe Called Quest is my favorite rap group of all time. Second place going to Mobb Deep. There really is no second place. It's Queens all day. A Tribe Called Quest and Mobb Deep, they really tie for first. It's 1 and 1A for me. I can't really pick one over the other. But yeah, man, The Low End Theory. Low End Theory, great album. Great album. Not the first one I bought. The first one I bought was Midnight Marauders, but still a great album nonetheless. A lot of hip hop culture shifting happened with the first 3 Tribe Called Quest albums, from the content to the style of production that Q-Tip is executing through here. I just played Jazz. We got it. Again, great song on that album. And of course, you can't forget Butter. Again, Scenario and Check the Rhyme. It's more to talk about on that album, but we'll save it for another time. But hey, I do encourage you. Hey, listen, if you are not really that hip to A Tribe Called Quest, I do recommend that you do listen to the album. It's incredible. And look what people were doing with hip hop in 1991. 91, I was 10 years old. Look what people are doing with hip hop. Look what these young men out of Queens, New York are doing with hip hop in 1991 and like jazz music and the different samples that he was Q-Tip was taking for to do this album, man. It's truly one of a kind. On to newer sounds. So I feel like I didn't give Cardi's album was a serious deep dive, and you know, and honestly, I won't really. It's kind of been covered, I think, the best way possible. But I do want to say on my first like listen and a half, you know, I'm so used to women in rap always rapping about stunting on bitches and how uh other women can't mess with them and like all this other stuff. I literally a lot of the stuff that Cardi B was saying was just going over my head. It's just like, oh, this is just regular girls like rapping. You know what I mean? Like I hate when one thing I hate about just the audience, the listening audience of women in rap or just rap music in general. One thing I hate about a lot of listeners in rap and a lot of people that call themselves, well, they don't call themselves journalists at all. People that cover the music or review the music, they're always trying to figure out who dissed somebody. They never just listen to everything like in a vacuum. They don't just take everything at face value. People are searching for subs. People are searching for somebody to get dissed. And a lot of times it don't even be that. Now, I kind of just listen to it like, oh, wow, it's been 8 years. Cardi B dropped a new album. We know what's going to be on there as far as like, you know, Outside and I think Up and WAP. You know, the all the joints over the last 5 years. Well, some of the joints, some of her biggest joints over the last 5 years are going to be on the album. And, you know, I didn't think anything of it. Boy, did it change my perspective when I got on, you know, Twitter or just social media platforms and people were saying the intro is about Nicki Minaj. Totally threw me off. Totally threw me off. Threw me off with that happening and Summer Walker doing, I guess, her best Weekend impression. I guess I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that. But you know, and then the song about JT. I'm like, wow, dang, I forgot that was even going on. I literally forgot. I literally forgot these things were going on. I had no idea. Now, obviously, Pretty and Petty, you know about that one because Bia's name is said in the diss, right? Not hard to determine that. But I'm sitting here listening. I want to make sure I got the title of the of the song right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure I got this. I want to make sure I got the title of the song right. Uh, but City Cinderella. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That was that was JT's joint. But listen, Cardi B, whether you like her or not, whether you think she's right in every single word or not, and I'm willing to unpack a more in depth conversation on that. Cardi B is really rapping. She really shooting at chicks, and I think no matter what, the person that is always prepared to rap over the person that's prepared to talk is definitely like the winner, the victor, the lead, right? It's hard to speak ill of somebody that wants to rap, even if you feel they can't rap or no or necessarily don't rap. You know, traveling back, what maybe 18 months now? Yeah, it had to be 18 months, unless it got lost in the shuffle of everything Kendrick versus Drake. You know, when Nicki figured that she dissed Meg the Stallion, it didn't go so well. That didn't go so well for a woman who last decade was considered one of only two women of last decade that rap better than most dudes, right? Rhapsody and Nicki Minaj share that title for the entire 2010s. However, what is interesting, interesting, is that we place that crown on a Nicki Minaj for example, for an entire decade, And yet here we are when it's time to rap against other women, it hasn't been going so well. Now, I say that to say I do think she actually out rapped Remy Ma. I really do. I really do believe that. I thought She Third was extremely overrated. I don't think Nicki went hard enough. You know what I'm saying? If she was trying to prove the point about being the better rapper or what have you. But I do absolutely believe that just on some bar for bar, verse for verse that I remember or care about, I do think Nicki actually out rap Remy. I think that people just wanted to dislike Nicki. And that's how this is like just falling apart. Because now the worst thing for Remy to do is get into an exchange of words with anybody. I think if we run this back in 2025, run it back being Remy versus Nicki, I think the outcome is a little different now. Because now the general public is not too high on either one of them. I think it's a dead heat. It's like watching the two bullies in the school fight each other. Who do you want to win when the two bullies fight each other at the school? The one that took your lunch money or the one that gave you the wedgie? Who do you want to fight? Who do you want to win? I should say. And I think that's what could happen right now. But above all that, man, listen, Cardi B shooting. And unfortunately, in somewhat Drake fashion, JT threatened to sue. now, now look, I don't think this is right. I don't think this is right at all. Okay. Uh, um, but this is the new thing because too many rappers want to be brands now. What's up, Wang? Too many rappers look at themselves as brands first. And I guess you should because you know your name, your likeness, it is a business. It is something to be protected. But you know, McDonald's don't sue everybody that say something disparaging about their milkshakes or their ice cream machine or their burgers, fries. You know, that doesn't happen like that, you know, where they just sue you. It's just like, no, they just keep making more money. They just keep dominating the space. You know what I'm saying? Here come Jones. My guy Jones in time. He's like, and this is why Drake is a hoe. So, hey, and you know what? You're going to win this round, Jones, because for the second person in the in music culture, I don't even want to call this necessarily hip hop culture. I don't know. It feels kind of weird, but here we are on a within the midst of another battle, and before it even really gets started for real on the song for song tip, somebody talking about suing. Now, I do want to say this real quick because I think this is important to highlight. There's a new trend amongst the women here, and I don't know if it's gonna get messy or if it's going to lead to men getting a little too out of character, which may even prove their point. So JT and Cardi B are also in another battle. And the other battle is whose man is the gayest? Now, I don't have any problem with any brothers out there that are into whatever they into. But I do think it's fair to acknowledge the fact that the new thing is, hey, well, your man really gay. Or, hey, your man gayer than, than my Hey, y'all be buying bags. He be playing with dildos. Hey, there's a lot, and women are playing very no Vaseline-ish right now. And I am here for it from an entertainment perspective. Now, I will say this. The only thing, and I don't even know if it is true. People are saying it's not AI, but the person that went to the booth the fastest was Lil Uzi Vert per the internet. Now, I don't know if that's 1000% true because I don't know for a fact that this song is like a real song from him. It's crazy that we got to do that now. We got to sit here, excuse me, we got to sit here and decipher if songs are even real once they come out. Um, Concerning like just them dissing people or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And but even in that, though, right? Even in that, Cardi B, no, sorry, Lil Uzi Vert is calling Cardi B's new man the other F word, you know what I'm saying? And they it talks about abortions, but not from his song, but like, just everybody is just getting wow. A lot of vagina mismanagement is about to be thrown out there. And I don't know if I'm here for it or not because I'm a guy. And usually this is the stuff that kind of happened on Jerry Springer before people got to swinging on each other. You know what I mean? So I don't really know if this is definitely the vibe. I don't know if this is it. Um, I do agree with you, Jones. You said a bad precedent in hip hop, but see, if we set it up like that, then yes, you're 100% correct. I think, and I've been saying this for a little while. I don't think Drake has considered himself even an artist in hip hop for a few years now. I would even venture to say since Views, and that would be a solid 10 years. Views and What a Time to Be Alive both came out in 2015, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't think Drake has considered himself doing hip hop business. I think he's been doing music business, and music business involves him suing because I mean it's because he lost the battle. It's because of the streaming bots. It's so many reasons, right? So many reasons. So I let him choose which one he wants it to be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it ain't like JT can call her broke. Yeah, hey, that's a good point because women, even in rap, they just love to know that you broke or they love to know that they can call you broke, but you can't call Cardi B broke. Cardi B looks like she makes $100 million a month. That's how rich Cardi B looks. She looks like she makes $100 million a month. So you can't call her broke. You can't. She's the only person that it took 8 years to drop an album and looked like she got richer in that process. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I've never seen the artist go disappear as far as making a full project because obviously she's been dropping songs for 5 years. But I've never seen a woman come out, drop an album, then just put out singles or features, kind of disappear from the music scene to a degree, but still look like every time you see her, she got a new platinum single out. It's crazy. It's crazy. They said Uzi a city girl and Diggs a town woman. That is nuts. That is crazy. Man, you know, I'm not here to get in women's business, at least not off the rip, right? But all of this is just putting the final nail in the coffin and really lowering that casket for the city girls in the dirt. And I don't mean even the city girls as a group because that's been over. I'm talking about the whole aspect, the whole design, the whole thought process, the brand that is the city girl. You know what I'm saying? The young, ass throwing, shot taking, big lash wearing, you know, designers and four-star meals and exotic vacations, you know what I'm saying, just off of being a bad bitch. I think that whole entire era is over now. It's over because we're watching the women who planted the seeds or bared the flag for that entire era. They're literally falling apart. They're literally falling apart. And even the winners have questionable losses. And what do I mean by that? Look at Carisha. Look where she's at in life right now, currently. Look at Meg the Stallion. Look at JT. Yes, Cardi B has a platinum album out, and she's out here now, and she is stunting and throwing off and putting nails in coffins out here. But we can't change the fact that she literally is pregnant by a football player that even football players don't trust with with important women in their lives. And then he's just got another girl pregnant, and she's still married because she's fresh off of having a baby last year. Like it just looks and sounds crazy. And you know, we spent a lot of early this decade, you know, the 2020s, early in 2020s, and even 2018 and 2019 going into this decade, saying, you know, this city girl BS ain't gonna last long, right? We threw out so much slander, we threw out so much you know, feedback and even maybe backlash, and and it was resisted. It was resisted. It was fighting back. It was, don't tell women what to do with their bodies. Don't tell women how to be women. You don't know because you've never been able to get or maintain a bad bitch. You were told, like, you as a man, you were told all of these things. And really, what we had to do, and I think it is what ended up happening, proverbially, you know what I'm saying? In hindsight, we got tired of going back and forth and said, okay, bet, do your thing, ma. Okay, sweetie, you got it. I see you, Miss Lady. You know what? Do your thing. I'll get back with you. And look what's happened. Look what's happened. You know what I mean? It's it doesn't look cute. It doesn't look sexy, especially since these women are now 30. You know what I mean? Like it's be careful. Hey, listen, and I say it because I mean, obviously, we all have made a mistake or two in our 20s. However, you know, we were void a lot of the social media platforms at this strength. You know what I'm saying? I got through most of my 20s without even smartphones being invented. So, and I was late to the party. I said a Blackberry in 2010. You know what I mean? So I am I get that we live in a different time, but man, when I think about that whole hot girl period, the whole city girl period, you know, it it literally just it sums up into quite a few words, but you know what I'm saying? I think no other word really captures it better than guidance. Guidance. That's what these young women needed. And the young fellas too, though. But we talking about the women and how this is all playing out. Because here's the deal. Here is the deal, though. The flip side, unfortunately, is that a lot of the young men, however they were living, you can call it city boy lifestyle if you want to, or whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, a lot of them died. Some of them are in rehab, and some of them have went to jail, and it's gotten very real. This era, this new generation of artists bucked the system, but they bucked reality. You know what I'm saying? It's more than bucking the system. You buck reality. You think that you are untouchable. You think you can do anything. You think that people are trying to ruin your life by trying to give you some game or trying to give you some guidance. And you ignore the guidance. So then now you're in the position where you are paying for not even trying to hear some of the guidance, because everybody bingo card is in shambles now that Chief Keef is the one that made it out and looked like he got common sense right now. That's where we are. So, think about that. Just think about that. This and this is why I gave Chief Keef his respect early. He's one of the most influential artists of last decade. And about you liking the music, it's about what Chicago drill did to the national music scene. That is literally what happened. And he's one of the most important voices of last decade. And shout to whoever is in his team, whoever's in his crew, whoever's in his family, because man, has that brother evolved. And boy, did he not have to hit the fatal end of his story to teach others and to learn from. So I commend him for that. 21 Savage, I commend him for the evolution that he's done or had. You know what I'm saying? People were trying to call him the worst rapper in the world. Like, hey, yo, he was a scary individual coming into this game. But boy, has he turned out to be a very poised and ambitious young guy. And that's awesome. That is super awesome. Let's get back to these comments real quick. I'm seeing some of them come up. Jones said, between this and Carisha waiting on D to get out of the get out, City Girls down a million. Hey, hey, listen. It's very real. They are down. They are down. I appreciate you, my brother. You know what I'm saying? It's but I'm here for the raps though, and that's my question to y'all. So here we are, and I'm gonna try to attack every point, because here we are. JT is on live, and JT can actually rap. I think JT is a good rapper. When people were trying to down the City Girls, I was actually listening to their songs, and I must admit, JT has always really been able to rap to me. I've obviously liked Carisha's presentation and her just like, even though like this ain't rap ain't really her bag, whoever was feeding her rhymes or whatever, I think she did a good job of delivering it. But you could tell JT was like, oh wait, no, you really wanted to rap like for real. Like you you really think you're the next Trina out of Florida. Okay. But on another level. And I really do think that we underestimate how good of a rapper JT is because of all the city girl madness, right? However, she's not rapping right now, and that sucks. She need to get in the booth. I don't need to hear about how you about to sue. Um, it would have been flyer if you would have said her man was gay and some bars. You know what I'm saying? I that just would have been great. Um, Nicki, who has been prone to crashing out this entire year, simply posted a date of March in 2026. So obviously the response is cooking up. This is going to get interesting because again, Nicki Minaj, public perception battle wise, she's 0-2. That's the public perception. That people are saying that she lost to Remy. People are saying she lost to Meg the Stallion, and even though there's claims of no records, people just give her the elegance Lil Kim. So for Nicki to be as great as she is, they don't have her winning one battle ever. I don't think that and I can't think of one woman that she would have got into any other verbal sparring with. Hey, listen, Lotto is gonna have to catch a stray in this too, because Lotto dissed the shit out of her on her last album, and she was going crazy. And Lotto is the one that can't wait to rap. That's why I love her. So this is gonna get interesting. As far as Nicki and her prepared response, because she the OG, she the vet. And if she let these young girls take her out, especially the one that she is adamant about, the one that don't write, might be time for her to just stick to doing pop records, man. Or at least not going back and forth with women or rap, trying to say she can out rap any woman, whatever, whatever, whatever. That's got to die. That's got to die until you catch bodies. That's just how it's got to go. And then there's Bia, who's missing in action. All right, she is MIA. I haven't heard from Bia in quite a while. The diss record that she originally dropped about you know what I'm saying? Basically, she was calling Cardi B a nation hoe. For anybody that's familiar with Chicago gang culture, a nation hoe is a young lady that get ran by vice lords. But she cool, she down with them. She like in the gang, but she in the gang because she get banged. You know what I mean? And that didn't land how Bia thought it would. I think Bia thought that her one diss was enough and that she was gonna catch Cardi slipping. But unfortunately, when your biggest moment in rap music is how J. Cole bodied your song, and people are wondering how you got the verse, you kind of got to sit this one out. You dig? You dig what I'm saying? It don't quite work out the way that you want it to work. You dig? So there's that. You know, I don't I don't ever see people, to Wayne's point, talking about Bia since that moment. And I think the biggest way to figure out that nobody cares about you is by who you diss. Because she dissed Cardi B. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Bia didn't have a joint and she wasn't starting to pick up steam and wasn't starting to take off, but she didn't have a banger that was big enough or bad enough to start talking about Cardi B. And that's really important in this era too. And I'm gonna explain why here. But first, what up, man? And happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. I saw it was your birthday on Le Facebook. And yeah, man, I hope you've been having a stellar birthday. You know what I'm saying? You know, last time we cared about Bia J. Cole was the highlight of the song. Yeah. Yeah, hey man. There is that. You know what I'm saying? Words at the same time. Yeah, hey, listen, there it is. So, you gotta think about that. Your biggest moment in rap is J. Cole going crazy on your joint, right? Then you try to follow it up with you're gonna diss Cardi B. But the world loves Cardi B. See, Cardi B is doing the one thing that people, a lot of new artists are just not doing, or they just don't have the ability to do. There's two ways you can look at it, right? On one hand, Cardi B is such a likable figure that she could literally do anything and it's entertaining. We've watched her do literally everything in the last 8 years. So and so this is even before Invasion of Privacy. She's done reality TV, but she was like one of those YouTube personalities that was like one of those loud mouths, like it's like pseudo comedians or whatever. So we've seen her on social media, then we've seen her in reality TV, then we've seen her as a rapper, an artist getting taken seriously, putting out mixtapes. Then she caught one, put out an album, and then she was doing that. I forgot what it's called, like the MSR video where she was like rubbing the mic and talking all soft and was trying to get people to masturbate and and causing mad erections like on YouTube that day. And then she was doing the uh well, she does like Fashion Week and all of that, and then she has like foundations, organizations, but then she's sitting with Bernie Sanders. There was nothing that Cardi B wasn't doing that we were not paying attention to, and it was entertaining. She is the prime example of how great your attention span is if you are interested in the person saying whatever. because that's what this is all about. It's a competition for attention. Even as I sit here and talk with all of you that have been popping in and out of the stream today, or whenever you decide to listen, I'm competing for other attention. I don't know who else is on right now at Wednesday night, but I know the fact that I have to do some things to prove that I am ultraly entertaining, or people are just enamored with wanting to see me. They come to see me, Otis. That's the mentality, and that's how you get over the hump. And then you get people to invest in you both as a consumer and as businesses for, sponsorship, endorsements, whatever, what have you. And Cardi B was a machine when Bia decided to diss her. And that wasn't going to go well at all. Like, the people think the game is just, oh, I'm going to diss who's on top. I'm going to get my name hot, and that's it. But it's so much more to it than that. And I know what you're thinking, but let me read these comments. So am I tripping to like Cardi as a person and not like the music? No, you're absolutely not. You're not wrong at all, Wayne. And that is the bigger, that's the bigger thing. I'm gonna leave this question up here for a minute. Because this is very important. I think people are invested in Cardi B, the person, more than they are Cardi B anything else. I don't think you're here for Cardi B, the musician. I don't think you're here for Cardi B, the fashionista. I don't think you're here for Cardi B, uh, the reality TV star or the internet personality. I think Cardi B is just one of those rare humans on God's green and blue earth that is just so entertaining that the fact she can just pull up and talk to you and you are thoroughly entertained. Her best interview is the one she did with Kelly Rowland. Neither one of them are journalists. They're just having a conversation. And Cardi B is just literally being herself. And you can tell she got media training, but at the same time, she don't care about the media training. Or she's remixed what media training looks like. And we let her get away with it because it's Cardi B, and she is that great of a polarizing figure. You don't have to like Cardi B's music at all. And that, I think that is literally by design. Cardi B is going to be the only person that's going to get out of this decade, whether she retires in 2029 or not, and people will still be overly invested in everything that is Cardi B. People are now looking to see, in my opinion, people are now looking to see what Cardi B is like at 35 years old. Who is Cardi B at 40? Who is Cardi B when her children are teenagers? Who's going to have her personality? There are so many things that I think people are invested in that if she did reality TV, she would close the door on reality TV. And I'm not talking about Love and Hip Hop. I'm talking about it's Cardi's life, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, if they really wanted to do a TV show, a reality TV show just surrounding Cardi B, she would close the door on reality TV because everybody else looks like an act next to her when she's just being herself and being entertaining. You wouldn't be able to, you can't out script her. She's that great at just being herself. And it's the authenticity that everybody has bought into, whether you personally like it or even if you respect it, you are still invested. And that is a very hard task. There's a lot of people, legendary people, aspiring people who are talented, who are beautiful, who are tough, who are animated, who have great voices. They got all of something, but they don't got what she got. And I'm in the mix. I don't got what she got. I wish I had it. Man, I officially wouldn't be broke by Friday. But I ain't got it. And that's why I respect it. That's why I respect it to the T. And, Bia, JT, Nicki, here's the thing. Cardi B gets a lot of flack for not writing. I'm gonna shoot her a lot of bail because I think she's writing every single one of these insults. I think all of these jokes and all these evil, catty things that she had to say about these women while calling herself the Grim Reaper, I think she wrote every single word of that. I think she wrote every single word of that. I don't care if she didn't write the hook. I don't care if she like let's go to the like okay, if she didn't write what's going on totally, you know what I mean? You know, but hey, I think she wrote Man of Your Word. I think she wrote that song. I think she wrote Pretty and Petty. I think there is cadence and certain flows and things like that. I think she might have got help here and here. I don't think what Cardi B is doing musically is so much different than a lot of the other rappers, like or specifically like Kanye West. I don't think there's much difference, because Kanye still sounds like Kanye, even if Big Sean or Sci-Hi or Consequence is writing for him. He still sounds like Kanye West. That like Kanye West is not absent the ability to rap, period. He just Voltrons the music. We've been painted this narrative that Cardi B just shows up to the studio and, as an example, Partisan Fontaine already got the beat queued up and the song written out, and he just tell her to go and read this and go perform this in the booth, and then we got songs. I don't think it's happening like that at all. I think if anything, it's more collaborative than anything because Cardi B is smart enough to say, no, I need something for the stripper bitches because I was one of them, when I was coming up, you know what I'm saying? Um, and I also think that when it's time to for women especially, I think if you gave women just a microphone and tell them to talk about somebody, you'll hear some of the greatest raps of all time. Because that's what women do primarily. Women are great about talking about other people. Women are great at cutting you down, selling you short, letting you know you ain't shit, letting you know you can't fuck with them, letting them know it's a privilege to fuck with them. Like women have an uncanny ability to let you know I am God's gift, you bitch ass nigga. And what you gonna do about it? So I'm shooting Cardi. I'm gonna say Cardi probably wrote 65% of this album. Because listen to how it sounds. Listen to how it sounds. And a lot of this stuff she lived through. Again, and this is not saying, oh, you gotta make her a musical genius or anything like that. No, is because we also be talking like she writing Illmatic and then she followed up with Doggy Style and then she wrote the blueprint. Like this ain't the most groundbreaking, mind-boggling, rhyme-bending, scheme-creating shit you've ever heard in your life. Why is it so difficult to believe that Cardi B is actually good at bragging on herself and talking down on other women for 20 tracks and telling you how good her vagina is? Why is that so out of our scope of just reality? Like we don't even believe, oh no, there's no way she could write WAP. No way she could do that. But why not? She couldn't have wrote Trophy. She couldn't have wrote Killing You Hoes. Well, she doesn't have the ability to write something like that. But why not? Like that ain't Beware from Capital Punishment. Like that's not Dream Shatterer. Like, bro, come on. Like, you don't think she could do this? You don't think she could do this? Come on, dog. We gotta shoot her some bail. Hey, yo, hey, listen. Wayne got it. I'm gonna give Cardi all the passes the world gives Drake. Okay, Jay, Drake touching all the strings tonight, and we here for it. But yeah, I mean, hey, look, and you know what? Drake, I think Drake was first of all, I still think Drake is an elite rapper. I know he was never my favorite. He was never my number one, but he is an elite rapper. There is a run The average rap run, I think, was what, 6 or 7 summers, right? You maybe get 10 years with Jay, but even some of those years is like, ooh, Wayne had a moment, Kanye had a moment, Eminem had a moment, Nelly had a moment, 50 had a moment, Ja had a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like Drake had a moment and never stopped having the biggest moment. Other people came in the game, but it was literally a situation where, oh, well, Drake lets you know that he's the hottest and this is how this goes. I think the stuff with Quentin Miller, I think that's blown out of proportion. When we think of Drake's catalog, for the people that really listen to Drake and really mess with him, right? When you're talking about some of your favorite or the best Drake songs, a lot of the songs off Nothing But the Same never come up in the first 5 to 10 or even 15 records, bro. Um, that is fact. And for the songs that Quentin Miller is definitely credited for writing, that didn't sully my opinion on how great of a rhymer and how great of a rapper Drake was. So, again, from a musician, project making, brand building, music business angle, absolutely nothing wrong with what he said or what he did or however it was handled. But hey, look, if you don't want Drake to be the number one rapper in the world, which he currently is not, but then again, he still currently is by default, if you get what I'm saying. But if you don't want to recognize him as number one, cool. W- Salute your goat, then. You know what I mean? Like whoever's got your top spot, salute to them. And it can just be that. It can just be that and be done. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this all plays out. Cardi B asking for the 1v3. Should the other three ladies even team up to make one song? Does that become something worth a damn? If all three of them make a song and it's mid pack or is garbage, is this over for good? What asterisk are you about to put on Cardi B if she beats Nicki Minaj, JT, and Bia in the 1v3? What are you going to say? I'm curious. I'd like to know. Yo, hey, okay. So on this, no. Hey, but on this though, Daylight being on the team, I think that's when Drake was contemplating stepping into the battle world. I think that's what that is. Um, because Daylight don't be writing fire rap songs either. Yeah, I'm sorry to say it like that. Hey, listen, Joey Badass was giving Daylight a hard time on tracks, a very hard time on tracks. So I don't and I don't know about in combat now, but if you were to just ask me who I felt was the better rapper, Joey Badass or Drake, I would have told you Drake. But Joey Badass is proving like, hey, look, I might not make the better hit records than y'all, but if we got to rapping against each other, I'm bringing the caskets. You know what I'm saying? Hey, much like Cardi B. Cardi B is like, okay, cool. I came in here and I'm not like heralded as like this great MC, but I'm the Grim Reaper. And she started bodying chicks, and she called herself the Grim Reaper. And we're watching it. It's literally happening. It's not cap. It's not cap at all. What's up, cuz? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you. Let me see. I'm surprised we didn't get a Cardi diss from Nicki and not subs. I think she still gives Cardi a rough time. Hey, the thing is, somehow, some way, Nicki wanted to inherit an issue with Lotto and Meg. And see, the problem with that is So Nikki, if you're not gonna make short work and slim pickings of the girl you say don't rap, why would you then go after the girls that really do? Why go after the girls that really rap? If you haven't, I won't say can't, if you haven't cleaned up the girl you say don't right, what makes you think you're ready for the girls that do? Questions. It's Camp from the Port. It's the Camp from the Port show, where every sound has a story. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. We can bring back some Nicki stuff. I do want to just shoot some praise. We're gonna shoot some praise to Chicago, City of Chicago United Center, NBA Youngboy. There was supposed to be his show at Chicago in the United Center, and as of what maybe like 24 hours ago, it has been canceled. It's been canceled abruptly. Um, and then and refunds were given out. And boy, am I happy to see that as a press release that because it came up yesterday, like late morning, early afternoon. United Center said no, sir, no, sirree. And they were originally, excuse me, I'm sorry. And they were originally just trying to up the security, like, hey, you know what, no bags and, just those safety precautions. But we know how this can go. And unfortunately, because we don't know how real everything NBA Youngboy versus Dirk still is, even if they're not doing anything, because unfortunately, a young person was killed, another young person lost their freedom, um, uh, another young person lost their career, and there's still a lot looming through that, and the worst thing that you can do, especially as the city of Chicago, is put this young man on a platter, so to speak, or do something to make the jaded journalism in regards to Chicago look right. You can't make it look right. You can't make it seem like black people in the city where Obama is from, President Barack Obama. We can't make it seem like they are out of control. We are ignorant savages and the whole black on black crime thing. We can't let them win. We can't let them save these things. And you can't let that reason, see, this is why we need the National Guard. We need the National Guard out there because look what they did at the concert. You can't no. And I'm super glad that they stop this. I mean, it's unfortunate for the people that really want to go to the concert. And it's unfortunate for NBA Youngboy because obviously he was like, yo, no, I'm going to go to do the show. And no matter how he felt, whether it's like, yo, it's all good, or it's like, yo, I'm ready for whatever, I'm just glad that he don't have to prove himself because this is still music. I know everybody is fascinated with street culture, gang culture, you know what I'm saying? All of that. I think all of that is, I mean, all of us to a degree, even myself, I'm sitting here giving this message, but I like watching gangster movies and hood movies and I like violent music and the whole nine, but I wanted to stay as just music. You know, um, I didn't I never wanted to see Jungle or Memphis Bleak get hurt because of the Jay and Nas beef. You know what I mean? Um, and fast forward, these young people were hurting each other, bro. Like these young brothers were taking each other off the planet. Like there were no fair ones. There was no fist fights. Matter of fact, the one fist fight ended in murder. You know what I'm saying? From a person that wasn't even targeted as well. You know what I'm saying? So like let that be also a thing to recognize. So again, commending the city of Chicago. I tell people out here, I'm in Nashville now, but I tell people all the time, yo, Chicago's a great city. I say, man, if you can deal with the winter, Chicago is amazing. It's an amazing city. And one of the only few things on my bucket list before God tells me it's a wrap, I would love to live somewhere in downtown Chicago before it's all said and done. I really would like to do that, especially with the experience I've been having out here. I waited so long to make a move to an actual downtown area, and I absolutely love it. I think this is my forever vibe. I think this is my forever energy. Yes, would I love a residential like home that I own? Yes. But right now I'm feeling real condo and you know what I'm saying, night lights and bright lights till the casket drop. But that's another story, man. I have so many things on my mind. We have to do another like a life type of episode where I talk about some other things like venturing and going back into corporate and all of that. Because I'm actually I'm very much considering a corporate America job or working for a corporate office for a company. So, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it someday. Um, but again, salute to Chicago. So salute to the Chicago mayor, who is a black man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is also very important to be happening on his watch. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago, the black mayor of Chicago, who has dropped the crime rate, who is doing the best that he can to implement a lot of the things from our era, because he's like in his 40s. So the things from our era and earlier in his era that were keeping young youth off the streets and off and out of like the drug game and the gang culture and all of that, for the most part. It don't save 100% of us, but it definitely didn't leave us in the 50-50 circumstance. You know what I'm saying? So salute to him. This was a brilliant move. I love what Chicago is just doing to protect itself from the world and its perception of it. A lot of people with very strong opinions about Chicago have them because they've never lived there. You're just following some goof. You're listening to a couple ignorant people and you don't really know. Um, I don't recommend it November through March, but get to Chicago and really see what it's like out there. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Again, Chicago's a beautiful city. I want nothing but the best for it. And man, salute to them for making the right decision for just not going moving forward with that NBA Youngboy concert. Because man, after the last 2 years that hip hop has had, that would have been a hell of a black eye, man. And I'm glad that we don't even have to even consider that being a fact. So that's awesome. Last topic on Camp from the Porch show, where every sound has a story, is Lizzo. Lizzo, I've been catching her clips, and I think she did an episode of $1 Million Worth of Game, but I have not watched it in full yet. But Lizzo, man, she's been on a tear. She's also on the new Cardi B album. I think she got a new project out herself and dropped new videos and all of that. She's been speaking out against the algorithm. She's been speaking out about what labels are or are not doing in an effort to see people or to have your work be seen by the people. I think overall she has a lot of great information. I think overall she's like right, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to conflate two things, and I mentioned it earlier, and I'm going to circle back on this because I think some people are just a little too full of themselves as far as what they believe is working or not working and why. Okay. But first, what I want to say is um why do we listen to Lizzo now? Like why? Because I got opinions. I got opinions. And so let me ask you two questions. First, are we listening to Lizzo and are we respecting her word because she's successful? Because yeah, she is. She sold millions of records, millions of streams, been on world tours, been global touring. She is one of the biggest artists of this decade. of the 2020s. She is one of the biggest artists of this decade. The run is proven to be, it's starting to look a little short, but she is nonetheless one of the real stars of this era. So is it because she's successful? Or it's because she's in better shape. I look at Wang and look, hey, he said, I still don't listen, but I wanted to hit and still do. Hey, listen. And it's okay. Because Lizzo's gorgeous. Lizzo was gorgeous when she was big and oiled up on that album cover. She is gorgeous because her face looks like that. And now that she doesn't seem to be concerned with all that body positivity music message that she was pushing because she got her body looking extremely positive, it seems like everybody is giving her a lot more attention and a lot less backlash. For a while there, people were the biggest thing that she had done, the thing that was overshadowing her music, unfortunately, was that time she went to that basketball game. You know what I'm saying? And we know people were trying to say that, oh, it's because I'm big that y'all don't want me dressing like that. And then people really had to dial it back in. It was like, no, because it's kids here. Again, city boy, city girl culture, losing again. Why are you at an NBA game with the crack of your buttocks exposed or leaving little to the imagination? It literally does not matter. Like, do what you want, be who you want to be, but have respect for other places. You know what I'm saying? So we get through that, right? And obviously, usually, anytime Lizzo says anything or comes out and does something, people are quick. Shut up, fatso. Shut your fat ass up. You unhealthy. You big bitch. Like people going crazy. They were going super crazy on her. Unjustifiably so, because no matter what she says or what you believe, is like, yo, do you really got to get in the comments and go crazy on the young lady? Like, that's nuts. That's insane. And obviously it hurt her. It broke her. And hey, listen, not for nothing, it motivated her. Because now look at her. She's looking really good out here. And, I know we live in this world where everybody wants to be sensitive to each other. But man, tough love still works. Harsh reality still works. The truth, no matter how brutal it is, will always work. And a lot of people want to embrace their insecurities because they don't know how to change them, or they feel like they don't have the resources to change them. But with everything that she's saying about the music industry now, I noticed that how now she looks so good that talking about her body isn't even worth talking about anymore. All of a sudden, we don't have conversations about loving yourself and how body positivity is important, and don't fat shame. Don't fat shame. We're not having any of those conversations. Why? Because it looks like Lizzo loves herself, and she loves herself so much that now all she's doing is pushing music and ways to get the music seen and heard. That's what we're getting, and we can't deny it. That is it. Those are the facts. And I mean, not for nothing. Hey, look, I'm glad to see that being a thing. I'm glad that is the issue. You know what I mean? Because why should it not be? Why should it not be? My last question on it, though, is can artists really beat the machine that's in business with the machine? No, they can't. So everything that Liz was telling you is great. Everything that she's saying is not wrong. However, we're already talking about UMG and how they have their hand or foot on everything. UMG was basically the Don King of Drake versus Kendrick last year. They have a vested interest in no matter who wins. UMG also owns Def Jam now, which has Justin Bieber. Like, I believe. Hold on, let me check because I don't want to just be saying things just to be saying things. Oh no, Cardi's still in Atlantic. But I was like, don't they got Cardi B? Like, there's a lot, there's a lot here, and you know what I'm saying. There's Oh wait, hold on. Let me read this too because I it threw me off. That's why I did that. The world owes Megan Trainor an apology. Hey, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Megan Trainor definitely was like, hey, let me do me. Let me be me. And he was like, you big mother. It's just bad. It's just bad. But and Megan Trainor looks great. She looked great. Big. She looked great. Smaller. She's just a great looking human. And no matter what, she was trying to keep it music, but everybody was trying to keep it on her weight. But that's the world we live in. That's unfortunately the world that we live in. But artists can't beat the machine, because if UMG has the artist and then they're in charge of your career as far as what direction that they want you to take it as a brand, but they got the relationship with Spotify, they got the relationship on YouTube and Apple Music, and they're the reason why your album is seen in the first 3 slots, or if they got to search for it, yeah, you're not going to beat the algorithm. You're not going to beat the machines if you're trying to play the machine games. And I think that's the thing that people are missing in this world. No matter how you want to slice it, and I know the internet is a big world because it's the entire globe. So whether you are in Chicago or in Hong Kong, you can be seen by somebody. And I totally get that. And we should never lose sight of that fact, right? But here's also the other deal. Here's the other deal. You still have to do the groundwork to get real, tangible humans to look at you and your product and to invest in it. Your campaign should be way past your computer or your other devices or your Wi-Fi. You need to get out here and campaign. You still got to shake hands and kiss babies. You still got to be seen. The problem is with a lot of artists in the last 10 years. So we're going to go all the way back to 2015 until right now in 2025. The big problem with a lot of artists is that people thought, oh, I'm viral. I'm a star. That means I got a hit record. That means I got a hit movie. And I don't got to do interviews. I don't got to tell people anything about me. I don't have to do media. And it's hurting them because on the flip side, to people not knowing who you are, your music ain't that great, or your TV shows ain't that great, or your movie wasn't that great, or it was a flash in the pan moment. And now you don't have a product that we're truly into. And then you don't want to talk to nobody. So we don't even know you're around anymore. We forget you exist. And then let's not forget all of the fake couples that were getting together just for content and to get their brands up, only to break up. And some of them end up having babies. And even that's the whole show. There are so many people that were trying to connect with something that they couldn't even see, that wasn't even tangible. You got to give people something very real. I think the reason why you still do have some of the artists from early last decade, early 2010s, the blog era, if you will, the reason why some of those people are still successful and some of the most successful people today, because they are the last generation of people that felt that they had to go outside to be important. And they had to go outside to be seen and to be heard and to be felt and to be supported. And somewhere along the line, we got into this world where people stopped thinking that they had to go outside if they really wanted to be somebody. And you want to just be somebody from the comfort of your own home. And it's not going to work like that for the majority of us. I don't know the person that's definitely a success by staying in the house 100%. It's no different from the hustle and the consistency, right? Because They're saying work your craft every day. If you're gonna do a weekly show or a daily show, you gotta do it every day because you gotta keep the attention. You gotta keep the attention going and all of that, right? So now what people were doing, especially since the money and the opportunities were coming so fast, people just going viral, making one moment happen, and then boom, that's it. You know, it wasn't supposed to happen like this, but the Cash Me Outside girl, what's her name? Bad Baby, or you know what I'm saying, Bad Barbie, or whatever her name is. That young lady actually ended up playing it pretty smart because yeah, she went viral off of a moment with Dr. Phil, but then she started trying to turn it into other opportunities. And then because dudes is pervs, she started OnlyFans with her and just bikinis and all of that because she never came in here having a talent. But unfortunately, men like young girls, and they were paying to see that young girl. And reportedly, she was never even flashing nipples or vagina. So do with that information what you will. But even in that, you still have a person who at least was smart enough to capitalize about, hey, look, I'm outside. I'm gonna get out here. I'm gonna do this, that, or the third, and then we'll flip this into something. Just like the Hawk Tour girl. The Hawk Tour girl was out here, and what was it? I forgot, but one of the was it Colin Coward or something? Somebody told her to do a podcast, and sure enough, she did. Like because it was like, yo, this is cool and all. You got your moment. Yeah, you're partially famous, but this isn't a sustainable career move. So what are you gonna do? And what she ended up doing is turning it into, like, her brand name likeness into a media platform. Now I don't know how good she's doing per se. I don't know, but I tell you what, she has at least took it upon herself to be like, okay, people want to see me or hear from me. Let me go out here and see what it's about to see what I can land myself. And I think that is something, especially black people, because I'm black and I care about black people. That's something that we really need to get acclimated to. And what I'm saying is specifically going outside and really making something happen. If you are trying to make something happen, I don't care if it's a podcast, I don't care if it's an EP, you sing, rap, you play the guitar. I don't care what you do. You play basketball, it don't even matter. You have to leave the crib. I know that the content space is what it is, and you gotta, you know, put yourself uh in front of your camera and you feel comfortable recording there. But if you think that you're going to make something happen solely just by being in the crib, you got this all wrong. You got this all wrong because social media platforms at this point are marketing tools. YouTube, Twitch, and Patreon, and just all those other places, they're they're great for building your platform, or Bandcamp for the artist out there. Those are good for your platform. You know what I'm saying? You can still use OnlyFans. You don't have to be on there slanging meat, you know what I'm saying, to get on OnlyFans. You don't have to. Because it never started off that way. It was chefs and personal trainers, and they're making six figures, just like it was girls playing with dildos on there. So you don't have to do that. Um, but you do have to get out here and promote yourself. It's just part of the hustle. Because you got to go out here and live life so you can have a life to talk about. And the days of anybody being able to say whatever and go viral are long gone, right? But now everybody is so stuck on monetization. And now people see that you can't just build your brand. You can't build a 6 or 7 figure brand on Instagram or Facebook or X or Threads for free. You can't do it. They're not going to let you do it. You need to pay just to be seen by some of your followers. So it's not going to work this way. You have to do your content, create whatever it is you're creating, your show, your music, whatever. And then you have to go outside and tell people you exist. And you got to go outside and let people know that you outside and that they need to follow your channel, subscribe to your whatever, or purchase your thing, because you still have to get popping in your city. If we all took the Houston rapper approach, or you know what I'm saying, and I'm saying specifically the Houston rapper approach, even though obviously there are other great independent cities, but Zero and Trade the Truth and Lil Flip, Kiki, Paul Wall, Mike Jones, a lot of these gentlemen, yeah, they might have one or two national hits, but they are still legends and millionaires because of the community that they literally serve with their product. I don't know how many copies any of them sell outside of Houston, because it literally don't matter. Because most likely they're on a world that they're doing some tour for nostalgia purposes, but they're also dropping music and feeding their streets with it. And that's what it's got to be about. Um, you know, and I don't think where you matters anymore. I don't think where you are matters anymore either, because at the end of the day, like, for all my Freeport people out there, it's still 26, 30 some thousand people in Freeport. If you were to reach 10% of them, that's enough to feed you for the year. If it was a monthly subscription. So let's just round numbers. It's 25,000 people in Freeport. And let's say that you were able to reach 2,500, so 10% of them. And out of those 2,500 people, you got them in a position to pay $10 to see you, or hear you, or watch you every month. 2,500 people give you $10 a month. You want quick math? That's $25,000 a month. That's $300,000 a year from 2,500 people. 2,500 people still think that you need to stay in the house. you need to stay in the house and create and just go viral on a whim. Nah, man. There's so much value. We be thinking that we gotta reach the entire world. I'm guilty of this too. That's why I'm speaking from this. I'm speaking from some experience right now as I'm talking to y'all. You know, we only need to reach maybe 10% of the people in the populated area that we're in. Now, if you're in a small town of 800 people, you gotta move, or you gotta go to the next town over. You gotta go to a town with at least 10,000 people in it. But if we're in any city or metro area, the goal is to over promote. So maybe again, 2,000 people, or shoot, 10,000 people. Let's get gangster. Let's get dangerous, like Darkwing Duck. 10% of the people, you get 10,000 people to get down with your program. Millionaire. And if you save and invest right, even that 2,500 people will make you a millionaire. But it ain't gonna come without you putting in that work outside the crib, as well as maintaining what you got. And I'm working on it too. It's been a lot of unfortunate circumstances for me this year from a career and financial standpoint. And it's time for me to pivot. It's time for me to pivot, and it's time for me to flirt with some new ways. But at the same time, I still want to get on platforms and talk music. And I'd love to get into a position where, again, a couple thousand people at worst are either subscribing to see some exclusive content or just buying merch or whatever. But I know that that takes me getting out here and being like, yo, what's up, man? My name is Karen from the Port. I got a YouTube channel. Subscribe to my joint if you can. We're gonna talk about this tonight, or I got 80 episodes in, or I got, it still matters. It still matters, and it's always gonna matter. So never forget that, y'all. Straight up. Because final word that I'll circle back on attention. Excuse me, Jesus, I might have ran it all together. Final word that I'll end with, and I'll circle back to it. Attention spans aren't short. Quality is down. Quality is down. Quality is down because people don't have facts. They just yell their opinion. Attention spans are not down. People just don't know anything. And people get off on not knowing anything. People get off on arguing. People get off on just watching you throw ass, but that you can only throw ass for so long in so many different outfits. You can only use the same joke so many times. You can only have the same opinion as Charlemagne or Joe Budden or Tasha K. You get for so long. You can't red pill us to death. You can't split the bills us to death. That everybody is, again, we had 1,000 people popping balloons. Everybody is doing everybody's thing. And only the originators or the best versions are surviving. That's not short attention spans. That's weeding out the garbage. We can't say attention spans are low when podcasts are still booming. People are sitting for an hour to talk about nothing or talk about each other, and people are watching it. You have a situation where people are still binge watching shows. Attention spans are low, but yet, Bud Crawford Canelo, people watch that whole fight. uh, Now that I think what it is that people are realizing that we're not in the microwave era. We are, if you break the matrix, right? If you break the code within yourself and you stop thinking that you have to follow suit, you know, a lot of we were pushed a lot of poison, mental poison, emotional poison, spiritual poison, literal poison in the form of food and liquor and drugs. And we've watched people argue and kill and die and fight and shoot, and there's been dead bodies. We've been enduring so much under the act of consuming content that people are numb to it. I was watching a video. It might have been on CNBC's YouTube channel, but they were, or it was on YouTube. I'll say that. I don't know the network for sure offhand, because I wasn't expecting to talk about this until it was just brought up in my mind right now. But they were speaking to the aspect of how you don't even really see your friends, like the people that you know in real life. You don't even see them on social media anymore. And they were getting to like, why is that? It's because everybody is not meant to be a content creator. Everybody is not here to, post their day and post their lunch and post all this other stuff. Like all these things that we were doing, working the bugs out of our own minds about how to use this and what it could turn into. A lot of people have just simply just moved on from it. All of a sudden the price of fame looked pretty expensive to a lot of people. And do you want to make a fool of yourself? Do you want to expose yourself? Do you want to expose somebody? Do you want to know what comes with that? Because we've watched people die over that. We've watched people do prison sentences over that. We've watched people commit suicide over it. Like there are so many things that have happened under the act of content and go viral or become a brand. And we are not in a situation where people are willing to pay that price at the same rate that they were willing to even just 5 years ago, you know. And that's okay. And that's okay. I hope we're getting out of job shaming and CEO or nothing, because again, it's hard to run, operate, and just grow a small business, especially in this time. Um, a lot of people learning trades and going to get jobs, and you know what? Unfortunately, we don't need We don't need content around that. We need you to go out here and make the money and make it happen. Feed your family. So, attention spans aren't down. Algorithms aren't playing that many games. It's that look, social platforms are marketing tools now. It's to draw people in, to send them somewhere else. You know, you should use your social media platforms right now, like McDonald's use theirs, or like Amazon uses theirs, or whatever your favorite news channel, TV station, TV show, you know, it's for teasers, it's for commercials, it's for trailers. You're not you're not going to build an audience on Instagram anymore. At least not the way that it was designed, to where you're going to get so much free money, because they're literally designing their platform to make sure that they're the house and the house don't lose. That's what I got. That's what I got for you, man. So create, do your thing, but go get your audience. Go get it. They're not going to come to you. Go get them. Know who you want to talk to, and then go reach out and hammer those people every day with information and kindness. Because I think that'll help too. That's going to do it for me, man. I appreciate y'all so much for checking out this episode of Camp from the Porch Show, where every sound has a story. And I look forward to the next time, man. All right. So just know, before I get out of here, that always and consensually, it's love.